we are here. We are during my EXPAT Life sessions. I want to share with everybody the experiences of the people in general that decided to move away from their countries. They decided to try something new. And today I want to share Lucia's experience because I've been amazed by her profile on LinkedIn. I followed her and then I interacted a bit with her. And I mean, I already knew from her name that she was Romanian, but I just needed to be sure because her profile is so professional and everything she does is she does such a nice job. So I just needed to bring her here and for her to share with us. How do you want to start? Do you want to start talking a bit about your roots, where you were born, and where else you lived before, maybe?
I think that's a great start. Yes,
great.
I'm originally from Romania, as you said. Hi, everyone. I grew up in Covasna. It's if you guys are familiar with the Transylvania, that's the area where I lived. I live 45 minutes from the Dracula Castle.
Wow.
Beautiful mountains, beautiful stories. Yeah, well, when I grew up, I didn't know that Dracula, it actually originated in Romania. So I grew up and I found out. I felt very proud to share it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm from Transylvania as well. I'm from North Transylvania. I'm far away from Dracula's castle. But yeah, I was always amazed. I always was very curious about how foreigners saw us, how they thought we were, like in Romania and Transylvania. I think it's one of the well-known places from our country, Transylvania.
Yeah, I kind of see like people are looking at my teeth when I tell them that I'm so close to Transylvania. No, it's a joke, but yes, it's quite nice to see that we have that in our country.
Sure. So where are you living right now? I mean, you said you live in Austin, Texas. Where did you live before reaching Austin?
Yeah, I came to US about 18 years ago. And wow. First time we arrived in Baltimore, Maryland. I came with my husband. He was a researcher at Johns Hopkins University. So that was what brought us to US. After Johns Hopkins, after Maryland, we moved in the Bay Area. We lived near San Francisco for about 7 years. And then, yeah, we did the whole startup-y things there. We experienced a little bit of Silicon Valley, and then we decided to move to Texas. And after we moved to Texas, I really feel like I arrived home. Like this is the first time where I felt like I'm home. Before I felt like I'm in transit. So yeah.
I'm happy. I'm very happy for that. It's a very, very nice feeling because maybe the traveling experience and getting to know a new place it's always exciting, and also adapting to a new language and maybe even the people around you, but you still miss home. And what you said, I think it's very important when you are away, and even in your case, because you have a family, right? You are not on your own.
Yes, I do have a family.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, can you share a bit more about just for people to know how your family is? Or which is your...
Yeah, so I have 2 daughters. Both of them are teenagers, so wish me luck, guys.
Yay!
13 and 17. So one is junior in college, junior in high school, getting ready for college. The other one is in middle school, getting ready for high school. And I have a husband, 2 cats, and a dog. So,
wow, it's a big family.
Yeah, you never get bored here.
Okay, that's nice. We will chat a bit later about how you can balance everything. But now let's keep on a bit of. I still want to talk a bit more about your roots. What do you want to share? What memorable experiences or stories you want to share from, I don't know, from Romania or from your roots?
I think when I think about my roots, I'm thinking about my family, and I think that was the foundation of who I am now. And one of the things that I really appreciated is the values that my parents instilled in me. They were very simple, simple people, but their values were wonderful. And one thing that I remember my father always telling me that I need to strive for what's best. I don't need to settle for what's not the best. So definitely higher than I can. And one thing in particular that just crosses my mind right now, that so many times I thank him for it, was that he always told me that you need to check your work 2 times, 3 times before you send it. And so many times when I write an email, a proposal, getting ready for something, I thank him so many times when I would see a embarrassing typo or embarrassing grammar mistake or something like that. I thank him for he instilled that in me. In terms of other things
That's amazing. That's such a nice story, because I really have the same experience, and even in my case, my father was always kind of strict, but not in the bad way, just strict with, while you do something, you have to try to give your best every time. So that's very nice for you to share. What else do you want to share with us?
Excuse me?
What other memories or what other experiences or stories you want to share with us about your roots, about your family?
But I want to touch a little bit about about what we talked about, doing our best. So although my parents always encouraged us, I honestly do not encourage my kids to always try to do their best. I believe that that's such a pressure, and it's realistic, like for us to always strive to do our best. That at times we just want to relax and just give what we can do in that moment, and not always reach for this ideal that in every situation, in every circumstance, we just have to do our best. So I don't know how you resonated with us. For me, doing our, like, having that at times created some stress, some disappointment with me. I felt that not always I did my best, and when I didn't, there was a feeling that it's not, and that it wasn't enough. So it maybe, I think it contributed to having a little bit of all or nothing mentality. If I wasn't the best, then I was nothing. So while I like the idea to strive for that, I do not promote the idea to always try to do your best. Like, strive for that, but be happy if you just make progress at times.
Sure. Yeah, I know what you mean. Definitely. I think it's like a life lesson that you have to learn. In my case, I think it was useful because I also learned how to balance. Like, because if you always try to do your best, then you definitely are not going to reach your best every time, because it's impossible. Like, we are humans and we need to relax, we need to slow down, we get sick, we make mistakes. So yeah, the process is maybe at the beginning can be harmful for one, from one point of view, because you always try too much. But at least in my case, it was useful because I learned how to balance. I don't know if my education would have been different if my parents wouldn't have been a bit more demanding. I don't know if I would have reached this point where I am right now. Definitely, they didn't teach me how to balance. So they taught me those principles when you are young or small, and they want to push you a little bit so you can do your best. And they never said, no, don't worry, if you don't succeed, it's not a problem. So I had to learn that on my own. And I think I'm okay with it right now. I don't know. I'm not prepared to really to reach that deep inside of me and know what would have happened if my parents would have been more permissive, or would have I don't know, companion me along the way, not being very strict. I don't know. So yeah, I think that's everyone's story, a different story.
Yeah, but I think your point to balance.
Yeah.
Just remind balance, it's important.
It's the only thing that matters in life. So I think for me, I mean, yeah, it's we make such strong declarations. Not the only thing that's important. Of course, there are so many other things, but I think balance is one of them, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, so you see how we even without wanting, the coach inside of you has to like it's very, very well.
Coach hat on without realizing.
Yeah, the coach was talking because he was coaching your father, and well, actually he was coaching my father and me about how we should not be so strict with each other, with one another, or with ourselves. Yeah, that's great. Actually, you're right, and it's such a nice message to share with others. So yeah, you said that you've been working in tech startups and then in pharmacy. So now you are coaching. Tell me a bit more about what are you doing right now, and why? How did you arrive to this place? Because it seemed unlikely, right? Because from tech startups and pharma and I don't know, administration and business, you are a coach. You are a personal development coach.
Yeah, I know that just looking from outside, it doesn't seem like there is a connection, but looking inside, like in every job in every career that I had, there was a component of personal development. So even when I was leading teams, the one-on-one interaction that I would have with my team, the way I would motivate them to succeed, the way I would inspire them to succeed and keep up the good work that they were doing, there was always a personal development element included. In every job, I had people that would report to me, or even people that did not report to me. We would just meet to have one-on-ones, and in these discussions were pretty much like a mini coaching session where we would talk about where they want to go, what they want to achieve, and what gets in the way, and most importantly, what's one thing that they can do to get unstuck, to move forward, to reach towards their goal. And that was the common denominator in all of my jobs. And I would always say that if I am to choose one thing that I love the most in all my jobs, was just to have one-on-ones. And if I could have one-on-one all day, then that would be the perfect job. And one thing led to another. Pandemic, of course, opened up some opportunities for virtual learning, and I gave it a try. I took a course. I got certified to be a coach, just to contribute my personal development, and then I played with the idea of creating a business. So now I help business owners and managers to really achieve their goals in both personal and professional levels. I work with them by first identifying what is their current situation, getting clarity of where they want to go, what stands in their way, and what are some things that they can do to remove the barriers that might stand in the way of achieving what they want to achieve. So
yeah, it's such a nice job. I think I don't even think you can call it a job. We don't have another word, right? But you put your all your knowledge into service, the knowledge that you gained before as a manager yourself or a team leader, and now you also put the techniques of coaching that are so powerful. What do you think is the most important step in achieving goals?
I think the most important step is just to know exactly what is that you want to achieve. Just get very clear on, and then, so if you're to summarize what and how to achieve it, because oftentimes we set ourselves goals, but we do not necessarily consider what are the steps necessary in order to achieve that. So it seems very simple, but when we are in the middle of achieving goals and in the middle of everything that happens around that, at times we miss the second element. So yes, these two are the top, like the most important ingredients. And then of course comes getting organized, having working towards establishing good habits, having accountability in place and all that. But yeah, the summary is just getting clear of what you want and identify what are the real steps that would get you there.
Yeah, so saying that, what would you have done differently now if you could go back? What would you have done differently in your life, or in your professional life mostly?
I think in the professional life, I would have said no to more things.
Yeah, saying no, it's not easy.
Yes, because I loved to say yes. First, because I have the tendency, I love to help people. Maybe there is a tendency of people pleasing, but I wanted to be helpful, and it fed the need to be helpful. But oftentimes, by being too helpful and saying yes to too many things, I didn't say yes to things that would help me advance more.
Yeah, so you were taking away from your energy and your time as well by saying yes too much.
Yes, and that translated in a lot of stress, maybe some missed opportunities because I was maxed out, and now I'm much better at saying no. I learned how to say no in a nicer way, not just no, but I learned to give myself permission to say no to some things that would be consider other people's agenda, and have the courage to say yes to more things that were my agenda, and be okay and not think that that's not okay.
And in this case, I feel really well that you said yes to me. So because you saying yes, it's a very conscious yes, and saying no, it's also a very conscious no. I'm still learning how to do that. Actually, I'm in the midst of learning how to say, as you said, a very nice no, not a violent no, or just very drastic no. Trying to leave those open as well, and trying to explain to people, because people tend to reach out to me as well, to reach out for help or to reach out for my advice in situations. So I'm in the same point. Well, I'm in the same point you were before you learned. So I'm still learning.
I am still learning too. So it's not that it's very easy to say no, but I'm more conscious about it.
Great. I'm so happy that you said that. I'm sure lots of people have the same situation, and even at a job, right? Managers or leaders have to learn how to say no to their teams, to their people.
And I would like to add that sometimes it's not just yes or no. The answer is not always. The other times it's that you can offer support, but not necessarily do it for them. You can say, I'm happy to support you. I'm here if you have any questions, but encourage them, helping them see how they can do that for themselves. So it's not always yes or no. There is other options as well, but definitely questioning, hey, if I say yes, what would this mean? And if I say no, what would that mean? Just taking those few seconds to really consider before jumping into a resounding yes, even though our to-do list or calendar is full, I think definitely helped me. But yeah, I think it's always learning. It's never, you
Yeah,
never.
it's a process. It's definitely a process. Let's go go back a bit on the situation of you living abroad, living in a country that's not yours. I'm in the same situation. I've been living in Spain for almost 20 years now. So I think there's a parallel between people meeting their goals or finding their goals with trying to settle or to adapt to a new country, a new culture. Do you think that's true, or do you think it's not true?
Like you're saying, if people tend to set less goals if they are in a different country, they believe that they can achieve less in other countries. Is that, I'm not sure I understood the question.
You're not, yeah, so my question was not very clear. So what I'm trying to say is that I think there's a parallel, or like a life story, a life evolution. It's similar to how you grow as a person and also in your professional career, on how you adapt to living into a new country. And you can find similarities between both of the experiences.
Yes, totally. Like, I feel like the way we adapt to a country, that's the way we would adapt to a relationship, to a new company, to a new position, a new project. Yes,
Yeah, that was my idea. That's why my series, and I think the people that are invited can also help or inspire or share their experiences, even with those who are not thinking and moving abroad, or are not living abroad. They are in the countries and they want just to achieve some goals, or they just want to grow in their professional careers. So I think it can be very helpful, and it can be interesting for the people to listen to our ideas. What do you think were what were some of the biggest challenges that you faced when you moved to the United States?
Yeah, when I moved to US, I had a dependent visa. I was legally allowed to stay here, but because I came with my husband's job, actually I didn't know that I am allowed to come with him, but not allowed to work. So that was a big challenge, because my initial idea was, I come to US, I'll take a few months to get used with it, and then just gonna land a job and everything will be fine. But landing a job was not an option, because we found out that the only available visa at that time for me would have been a dependent visa.
Wow.
And so that was the first challenge, which actually worked out wonderful for me, because when I came from Romania, I was very professionally driven. And I would always say that if I would have kids, I would stay with them 2-3 weeks and then I'm going to be off to work. And because I had a dependent visa and I wasn't allowed to work, I had the option to really rest and have my kids. So when I had my first daughter, only when she was 1, I got my working permit. And I am very grateful for that, because I could really enjoy the time with her, and I started valuing. And even with my second daughter, although I had a working visa, I decided to spend the first years with her and not go work outside of the house. I did jobs on a side that would allow me to be done from home, but I stayed with them. So yes, it worked out wonderful in the end. It was a challenge in the beginning, but I'm very grateful, and I wouldn't go back to having a visa day one and searching for the next career opportunity, because I value more what I was able to the time that I was able
I'm happy that your challenge was more an opportunity, and I think it's a good message also to try to see always the challenges from a point of view as an opportunity as well. So tell me a bit more about where you are on your journey right now. What challenges are you facing right now?
I'm building my business.
Oh yeah, that's enough.
as a like I cannot say that I completely knew what it entails to start your own business and be pretty much the only person that drives everything. One challenge that I have now is just a little bit of mommy guilt, a little bit of, I think, a guilt when I'm trying to create some harmony between a full-time working mom that sometimes her work spills beyond the 8 to 5, and being with my kids and trying to have family quality family time and all that. So this is a challenge. Of course, every day it's like some days are better than others, but if there is a challenge, that's the number one.
Yeah, great. I think it's natural. I mean, it's a challenge, but it's something natural because we always have our personal part that also needs attention and wants to do things. And it's normal for you to feel that way, right? It's a challenge, but it's something natural.
Yes, definitely.
Great. So we already said that your personal experience, that moving abroad helped you also in your professional development. It was not only a coincidence that you have now this career of coaching. And how do you stay connected to your home country if you are there in United States? It's so far away. At least I'm in Europe, is the same continent, but you are very far away from Romania. How do you stay connected to your roots?
FaceTime.
Sure.
So I have my sister and my father there, and my husband's family as well. And some ways we stay connected. Yes, I'm very intentional about FaceTiming. Like when I walk my dog, most of the time I call one family member, and I value that very much. That makes us feel closer and in each other's life a little bit more. And I visit the country, but only like every 5 years. What we mostly is have our family here. When they come, they typically come for 3 to 6 months, and we can spend more time together and more quality time together than when we go to visit them. When we visit them, we see them for a few hours here and there because we're so busy to, do the touristy things and see everyone that we didn't have a chance to see. But when they come here, including my sister thankfully was able to come and spend three months here. She was working remotely.
Wow.
To stay with us, and I value those moments a lot. So that's how I stay connected with friends. I don't know, Facebook.
Yeah, sure. But I also suppose you have maybe Romanian friends close to your home or in your area as well, right?
Yes, I think one thing that made Austin seems a little bit more like home is that I have a Romanian community.
Oh, that's great.
Where we meet on a regular basis. So one of my friends, she's amazing at keeping us together. So she would organize Romanian, like December 1st, when is the...
the National Day, yeah.
National Day, yes, I forgot the name.
4th of July. It's our 4th of July.
Yes. She would organize that, or Easter and New Year's, the way we used to celebrate, that the celebration starts after 12 o'clock. Yeah. So it does all that, and that's wonderful. And my kids as well, like they're able to be exposed to the language, which I think it's a benefit for anyone that can learn an additional language. And just to experience a little bit the culture. Like we sometimes get dressed up in Romanian traditional clothes.
Oh,
and
that's nice. That's very nice.
Yeah, and it's
Great.
good.
I can't say I do the same. So yeah, I'm a bit more, even if in Spain we have, I think maybe it's the second country in the world where most Romanians are, but I'm quite, I don't feel so connected to Romanian traditions anymore. I still go back to Romania, but I like more visiting either the nature or the big cities. So it depends a bit on my mood. Tell me a bit, let's see about some differences, some cultural differences. What do you think is the main difference in between Romania and the United States? And then I'll share my idea about it.
One main difference, and I don't know if that's necessarily Romanian versus US culture. Maybe it's just the groups where I grew up. And
sure.
But I really appreciate it here, and I've seen a big difference in minding your own business instead of concern of the business of the neighbor. So significant less gossiping. Actually, I cannot even count on one hand how many times someone tried to even start a conversation that was close to gossiping. And I think that's one of the things that I enjoy the most. That here you can dress however you want. You can go to the grocery in pajamas and everybody is totally fine with it. If you want to go in front of your supermarket and put a blanket on a piece of grass that you found there and have a nap, it's totally fine. Nobody cares. And I feel like there is so much freedom into that, so much freedom into caring, not caring what other people think. Other cultural differences was that here people are a little bit more, or again, the people that I'm exposed, a little bit more organized, a little bit more mindful about their schedule. And one thing that was surprising in the beginning was that if I wanted to hang out with someone, I couldn't just go and knock at their door and just
I'm here.
Exactly. Like we had, even if I had a neighbor that was next door, we had to schedule that coffee. We had to schedule that, which in the beginning felt weird. It felt not what I would do in Romania. I would just say, okay, mom, I'm leaving, and I would go to the first neighbor and I would just arrive. No phone calls.
Knock on the door and I'm here. Give me something to drink, or I want to take a coffee. And that's our style. It used to be. I think things changed in Romania as well. I totally agree with you. And I think I can add something I observed while I was also in Florida, not for so long, and from my American friends or acquaintances, is one of the main differences from a professional point of view is that they value themselves very much as a professional, much more than Romanian people. Romanian people still have that attitude where they need to deserve something, or to how do you say that? Like they don't believe in themselves as much, or they need for other people's recognition. So I think Americans don't have that. They already know how much they value, what their value is, and they can ask for that recognition. I don't know what you think about that.
Yes, I totally agree. And I would say that even starts in school. So I see kids coming home and the way the teachers relate to them, the way they're encouraged to create projects. It feeds into that idea that you are valuable, you have to share, you should be proud of whatever you have to share.
Exactly.
For public speaking, like presenting their projects in the class and teaching them early on the value of just being confident, being
Yeah, that's it. We were taught to be quiet, not speak without permission, not speak when adults were speaking. At our jobs, our bosses were gods, and it took me a while to get rid of that. Luckily, I had like that rebel side that helped me a bit, not accepting so much things from other people, but yeah, I think that's one of the main reasons. I mean, one of the main differences, cultural differences, and I wasn't aware that it came from the education. I thought, but you already said it is, so it's great that your girls are educated in that manner.
Yes, totally.
I'm happy for that. Yeah, it's a very good experience, and it's a very good attitude. Okay, I just want to wrap this up. I think it was such an interesting conversation. We spoke about many subjects. I just want you to say, if you can tell us more about what are you doing right now, your projects, and share a bit about that.
Yes, so two projects that I'm very excited, two new projects that I'm very excited about is I work with a tech company to help their teams get connected to their goals and set realistic goals, achievable goals, and have an accountability system in place in order to help their teams really make progress towards them. So that's very exciting. That's more like a group project. And
Wow.
the other one, I just joined a nonprofit where we mentor teenagers that need a little bit extra help. Maybe they are at risk. Most of them are at risk teenagers, and I believe there is such a great need for great mentoring. Oftentimes, those teenagers don't have an adult that ever showed trust in them. And what this organization is doing. And this year I joined the board of director as the secretary and just working to forward that mission.
It's very exciting. I can congratulate you for both projects. They seem very interesting, and I'm sure you are very satisfied with your experience there.
Yes, thank you.
And what else do you wanted to add? You wanted to add something more, right?
I'm curious. I'm curious also to hear what's exciting in your world.
Well, yeah, in my world, I'm moving forward with my let's say natural project or base project that I have as a human resources consultant. I'm representing, actually, it's an American company that tries to help companies to reach their happiness, organizational happiness, of course, in many ways. So in many different ways, we are trying to help companies to do that and eventually bring that happiness to the people in the companies. So I'm like a representative of happiness. I like to imagine myself as being a chief happiness officer in a way. And then, yeah, this project is very exciting for me. Actually, I'm even more excited about what I'm doing right now, meeting people, meeting professionals, Romanians all over the world, and trying to get to know them, connecting, and trying to make those connections work in the future as well, in both benefits and see what happens. So I'm kind of like, when you are planting the seeds, I don't know what the result would be, but I'm sure it would be something very interesting, very nice. What do you think? Oh, please ask me.
I just want to speak into what you said, that I think it's so important when companies now put greater focus on employees' happiness.
Yeah.
Because even today I had a conversation with someone about toxic like that came out of a very toxic environment, and it's such a reality. And having a company that is willing to invest to bring on board a chief happiness officer, I think it's so important, so encouraging to see what would this translate later on for the workplace, that it's not going to be a place where we would dread, that it can really be a place where we're excited to go there, and we're going there to grow, not just to give and get.
Yeah.
So it's wonderful.
Yeah, the like the win-win would have to be very holistic in all manners, not only I work, I get paid. So yeah, that's the idea. And yeah, it's exciting for me. It was a great project. Or it also came to me because I was in a company where I was not really happy, and it hurted me not so much how I was treated, but I was very sensitive to how my colleagues were treated, because I'm more, I learn how to balance, but then I see people that really suffer because not everybody has tools to be able to navigate through those toxic environments at work. And we spend so much hours. I mean, we spend so many hours at work, and it's you get affected by it. And then if you have family, or if you have problems with your house at your place, and then at work they treat you without respect, then everything gets darker and darker. So yeah, people, it's so easy to get burned out right now. And yeah, that was like, I really needed to do something like this. I'm really happy with my projects right now. And yeah, I think it's getting more and more important. So I think companies really are getting more, they acknowledge that this is the only way to move forward, and to have also success with their businesses, not only because it's a good thing to do, is the way to get success on the long run. I would like for you to share as a final idea, what would you like to leave the audience with, like a desired outcome, or a CTA, a call to action for the people that will see us, are seeing us, and will see us in the future?
For people that are moving to United States, or I think everywhere where you have okay, so for people that move in the United States, just to summarize, if you move here, first do your homework, make sure that you interview people that live in the same city, maybe work at the same company, go to the same schools that you are considering, because there are so many things that are important. So for example, when we moved near San Francisco, we had a conversation with someone, and they just told us, hey, don't move 10 minutes further from this area, because you're going to be in under fog 89% of the year.
Wow.
Which I didn't know. And moving with information that you get online, you would miss these things. So if you are considering moving anywhere, that's just an example, just make sure that you really know, like not all the companies that are in US are the best companies to work for. So do your homework in learning what is the culture, get to talk with people that maybe left the company. Those are the people that would maybe be easier to connect with, and would give you some insight to know exactly what you're going through, because there is no streets of gold in Texas, in US.
Well, in Spain either. There's a lot of sun, but no gold.
But it seems like from the outside, it seemed like any company in US would be better than the company in my country. That was my
your idea, yeah, your perception.
And perception of people around me as well. So that's one thing, like don't make those assumptions, do your homework. And if you are in the US and your company has a 401k pension plan, just invest in that earlier, because later on, when you make up your mind, the time that you lost in investing in your retirement, you will never be able to get back. That was one lesson that I learned only after, I think, more than 10 years of being in US. So definitely day one, yes, whenever I was for 1K, it's not that important. I wouldn't maximize. So definitely invest in that. Do your work homework, invest in that, and give yourself grace. If you're making transitions, give yourself grace in the process. There's a lot of things to learn. And exactly as Ioana mentioned, that any transition has some things that are in common. So don't think that transition to a different country, it's absolutely totally different, something that you've never done before. Think of every transition that you've done in your life, at work, in a new relationship, in a new city. It's the same, and you can apply your learnings that you previously had in order to maximize the transition that you would move maybe into another country.
Such a great advice. I mean, very, very good. I hope our viewers, our listeners can relate to this, can put this into practice, because it's very useful, I think. I totally agree with it. And thank you so much, Lucia. Thank you very much for this interview.
Thank you, Ioana, for having me. It was great fun.
Great. Bye. Thank you so much.
Thank you.